Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crochet this little cardigan sweater, coat or jacket for baby boys and girls between 0 and 3 months. It's very easy to make. The stitch pattern that I used to make this little jacket with is the Snowdrop stitch. In the information box, I'll go ahead and leave you the link to the matching baby blanket, and stay tuned for the matching little hat. I'll show you that in the next tutorial. Now, this little cardigan sweater, like I said, is for 0 to 3 months, but you can easily make it smaller or bigger from a newborn size and up to 3 years old. In the information box, I'll go ahead and leave you some information on how you can easily make it smaller or bigger, so be sure to check that out. And as always, if you prefer a written pattern, check out my Etsy shop. I'll leave the link to my Etsy shop up here on the right hand side and in the information box below. Thank you so much for your support. Now, to make this little cardigan sweater for 0 to 3 months, this is the yarn that I used. This is DK weight yarn, but you can also use any number 3 yarn or 8 ply. For the 0 to 3 month size, I used a total of 116 grams. 100 grams in the main color, which is the white, and about 16 grams in the secondary color. You will need less or more depending on the size that you make. You will also need 4 buttons. These are 12mm size, but you can also use 11, 12, or even 13mm size buttons. Okay, let's get started. Don't forget to subscribe, activate the notifications bell, and remember, all of my tutorials are always in English and in Spanish. Thank you so much for watching. To begin, I'll be using this 3.5mm crochet hook, and today I'm using this DK weight yarn. You can also use any number 3 or 8 ply. At the beginning of the video, I showed you the yarn that I'm using, and I told you how much yarn we're going to need for the size that we're making. Now, if you need the finished measurements, at the end of the tutorial, I always leave you the finished measurements, and if you need gauge information, I always leave that in the information box. So here, to begin, I have 51 chains. This chain without stretching, it's measuring about 26.5 centimeters, which is about 10.5 inches. Now, if your chain is off by 1 or 2 centimeters, it's okay. Continue with the first row. So here, to begin, into the third chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, into this third chain, I'm going to make a half double crochet. There. Now, these 2 chains that are here at the beginning counts as your first half double crochet. So far, I have 2. In total, for this first front panel, I'm going to make 7. So into the next chain, make a half double crochet. Half double crochet into the next. That's 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 half double crochets, including the 2 chains at the beginning. This here will be the first front panel. Now, to make the first corner, chain 1. Now, for the sleeves, I'm going to make a total of 11. So into the next chain, make a half double crochet. Now, before we continue here, place a stitch marker to mark this chain space. I'm going to place a stitch marker on each corner, which is the chain space. Now, I'm going to continue and make 11 half double crochets. That's 2, 11. Now, these 11 half double crochets, these are the stitches for the sleeve. Now, chain 1 for the second corner, and now for the back side, I'm going to make a total of 14 half double crochets. So into the next chain, make a half double crochet, place a stitch marker before you continue to mark the corner. Now continue, make 14. I have 1 into the next, that's 2, 3, and so on until you have 14. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. I have 14 half double crochets for the back side. Now chain 1 for the third corner, and into the next chain, make a half double crochet. Before we continue, place a stitch marker to mark the corner. Now for the second sleeve, I'm going to make 11 half double crochets. I have 1, so into the next, make a half double crochet, that's 2, 11. Now chain 1, and into the next chain make a half double crochet. Now continue and make these last 7 half double crochets. I'll meet you at the end of this first row. Don't forget to place a stitch marker to mark the 4th corner. I finished the first row. Now here at the end, I finished by making these last 7 half double crochets. Now at the end of this first row, you should have a total of 50 half double crochets. There should be 7 half double crochets for each front panel. For the first front panel, the 2 chains here at the beginning counts as the first half double crochet, so there should be 7. Now for each sleeve you should have 11, and for the back side you should have 14, so that's a total of 50 half double crochets at the end of the first row. Now for row 2, I'm going to chain 1 and turn. Now in this row, I'm going to make 7 half double crochets for this first front panel, beginning on top of the first half double crochet through the back loop only. Always make a half double crochet. That's 1, into the next, that's 2, I have 7 half double crochets for the first front panel. Now remove the stitch marker, and in the chain space make 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Before we continue, place the stitch marker on top of the second half double crochet of these 3 that we just did. There. Now for the first sleeve, I'm going to make 11 half double crochets. So beginning into the next through the back loop only of the half double crochet, make the first one, that's 1, into the next, that's 2, I have 11 half double crochets. To remove the stitch marker for the second corner, and in the chain space make 3 half double crochets. That's 1, 2, 3. Before you continue, place the stitch marker into the second half double crochet of the corner. And now for the back side, I'm going to make a total of 14 half double crochets. So starting into the next half double crochet through the back loop, make a half double crochet and a half double crochet into each one through the back loop only until you have 14 for the back side. And then in the third corner, you're going to make the same thing I did here. You're going to do 3 half double crochets, making sure to place your stitch marker into the center stitch, which is the second half double crochet. And then continue with the second sleeve and do the same thing. For the second sleeve, you're going to make 11 and then make the fourth corner and finish here at the end with these last 7 half double crochets. Remember to always go through the back loop only of each one of these stitches. Continue, finish the second row. I will meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of the second row. Now here at the end, I need to make my last stitch. So into the chain here at the end, I'm going to make the last half double crochet. And this is how I finished the second row. Now at the end of the second row, you should have 62 half double crochets, including the half double crochets that we have here with the stitch markers. These stitches here where you have the stitch marker, these are the corners. So for the front panels, these here, you should have 8 stitches. For each of the sleeves, you should have 13, and for the back side, you should have 16. So that's a total of 62 stitches, including the corners. Now for row 3, I'm going to chain 2 and turn. Now the 2 chains will never count as a stitch. Here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a half double crochet through the back loop only of each one of these 8 half double crochets for the first front panel. So beginning on top of the first one through the back loop, make the first half double crochet. That's 1, 2, 8. Now the next stitch, this is the corner. Remove the stitch marker, and in this corner you're going to make 3 half double crochets. Here you can go through both loops. That's 2 and 3. Before you continue, you need to mark the corner. So into the second half double crochet here, place the stitch marker, which is the center stitch. And now we can continue and make the next 13 half double crochets for the first sleeve. So beginning into the next stitch, make a half double crochet. That's 1, 13. I have 13 half double crochets for the first sleeve. The next stitch is the corner. Remove the stitch marker, and in this corner make 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Return the stitch marker to mark the second corner. So place the stitch marker in the second stitch of these 3 that we did, which is the center stitch. Now you're going to continue. For the back side, you're going to make 16 half double crochets. Then you're going to make 3 half double crochets in the third corner. Make sure you put back the stitch marker in the second half double crochet to mark the corner, and then continue and make 13 half double crochets for the second sleeve. Then you're going to make 3 half double crochets in the fourth corner, and then continue and finish these last 8 half double crochets. I will meet you at the end of this third row. I finished the third row. At the end of this row, I have a total of 70 half double crochets, including the half double crochets for each corner. Each one of the front panels has 9. Each one of the sleeves has 15, and for the back side, I have 18 plus 4. That's a total of 70 half double crochets at the end of this third row. Now for row 4, chain 2 and turn. Remember, the 2 chains never count. Now here for this front panel, I'm going to make a total of 9 half double crochets. So beginning into the first, through the back loop, make a half double crochet. Into the next, a half double crochet. That's 2, 9. The next stitch is the corner. Remove the stitch marker, and in this corner make 3 half double crochets. That's 1, 2, 3. Remember to always return the stitch marker to the center stitch, which is the second half double crochet. Now you're going to continue on your own and make these next 15 half double crochets for the first sleeve. Then you're going to make the 3 stitches here for the second corner. Continue with 18 half double crochets for the back side. Make 3 stitches for the third corner. Continue and make 15 half double crochets for the second sleeve. Make 3 stitches in the fourth corner, and then continue and finish the second front panel with 9 half double crochets. I'll meet you at the end of this fourth row. I finished the fourth row. Now at the end of this row, I have a total of 78 half double crochet, including the stitches for the corners. Each one of the front panels has 10 stitches. Each one of the sleeves has 17. For the back side, I have 20 plus 4 stitches for the corners. That's a total of 78 half double crochets at the end of this fourth row. Now for row 5, I'm going to chain 2 and turn. Beginning on top of the first half double crochet through the back loop only. Make the first half double crochet. That's 1. Here I'm going to make 10. That's 2, 10. The next stitch is where I have the stitch marker. Remove the stitch marker, and in this corner stitch, make 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Make sure to always return the stitch marker to the second half double crochet, which is the center stitch. And now you're going to continue and make the stitches for the first sleeve. Here you're going to make 17 half double crochets, then make the stitches for the second corner. For the back side, you're going to make 20, then make the stitches for the third corner. For the second sleeve, make 17 half double crochets, then make the stitches for the fourth corner and finish here with the last 10 stitches. I will meet you at the end of this 5th row. I finished making row 5. At the end of this row, I have a total of 86 stitches, including the 4 stitches for the corners. Each one of the front panels has 11 stitches. Each of the sleeves has 19, and for the back side I have 22. So that's a total of 86 half double crochets, including the 4 stitches for the corners. Now for row 6, we're going to repeat the same thing. Chain 2, turn. Here I'm going to make 11 half double crochets. So beginning on top of the first, make a half double crochet and always going through the back loop only. Into the next, that's 2, 11 half double crochets. Now the next stitch is the corner stitch. Remove the stitch marker, and in this stitch here make 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now make sure to return the stitch marker to the second half double crochet, which is the middle stitch right here, and that's the corner. So now continue and make 19 half double crochets for the first sleeve, then make the stitches for the second corner, then make 22 half double crochets for the back side, then make the third corner. Here you're going to do 3 half double crochets on each corner, then 19 for the second sleeve, make the stitches for the fourth corner, and then finish here with 11 half double crochets. I will meet you at the end of this 6th row. I finished making row 6. At the end of this row, I have a total of 94 half double crochets, including the stitches for the corners. Now, each one of the front panels has 12 stitches. Each of the sleeves has 21, and for the back side, I have 24. Plus 4 stitches for the corners, and that's a total of 94 stitches at the end of the 6th row. Now for row 7, I'm going to chain 2 and turn. Remember, the 2 chains never count. Here I'm going to make a total of 12 half double crochets. So beginning on top of the first, make a half double crochet. Now if you're wondering, this hook size is a different color, but it's the same size. It's a 3.5. 12. I have 12 half double crochets for this front panel, and remember to always go through the back loop. Remove the stitch marker. This is the corner stitch. In this corner and all the corners, you're going to make 3 half double crochets. There. Remember to always return the stitch marker to the center stitch. So into the second of these 3, return the stitch marker. And now you're going to continue and make the stitches for the sleeve. Here you're going to make 21, then you're going to make the stitches for the second corner. For the back side, you're going to make 24, then make the stitches for the third corner. For the second sleeve, you're going to make 21, then make the stitches for the fourth corner, and finish here with 12 half double crochets. I'll meet you at the end of this 7th row. I finished the 7th row. At the end of this row, I have a total of 102 half double crochets, including the stitch for each corner. Each one of the front panels has 13, each one of the sleeves has 23, and for the back side I have 26. So that's a total of 102 stitches, including the stitches for the corners. Now for row 8, chain 2 and turn. Here for this first front panel, I'm going to make 13 half double crochets. So beginning into the back loop of the first stitch, make the first stitch, and into the next a half double crochet. That's 2, 13. Now the next stitch here is the corner stitch in this corner, and in every corner you're going to do the same thing. You just make 3 half double crochets. Same thing we've been doing for every row here for the yoke. Now make sure to always return the stitch marker to the second stitch of these 3 that we made. That's the center stitch. And now you're going to continue and make the stitches for the sleeve. For the sleeve here, you're going to make 23, then make the stitches for the second corner. For the back side, you're going to make 26, then make the stitches for the third corner. For the second sleeve, you're going to make 23, then make the stitches for the fourth corner, and finish here with these last 13 stitches. I'll meet you at the end of this 8th row. I finished row 8. At the end of this 8th row, I have a total of 110 stitches, including the stitches for the corners. Now, each one of the front panels has 14 stitches, each of the sleeves has 25, and for the back side, I have 28. Now, what we're going to do next is divide the sleeves. So here, before we continue, place a stitch marker here on this side. Row 8 was worked on the wrong side, so this will be the right side. From here on, this is going to be the wrong side of the little sweater or the little jacket. So now to continue, I'm going to chain 2 here for row 1 of the body and turn. Row 1 is being worked on the right side. Now, beginning on top of the first half double crochet, make a half double crochet through the back loop and into each one of these stitches for the front panel. Here I have 14 stitches, so that's 3, 14. I have 14 half double crochets for the first front panel. Now remove this stitch marker and in the corner stitch here, make 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now to separate the sleeve, I'm going to chain 5. That's 3, 4, 5. Now skip 25 stitches for the first sleeve. And in the next stitch, which is the corner stitch here, make 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now I chained 5 here, but if you want to add more chains to add to the chest measurement, you can. The important thing is that at the end of this first row of the body, it's in multiples of 3. Now for the back side, we're going to make 28 stitches, and then I will meet you right here where we have the stitch marker to show you how we're going to separate the second sleeve. I finished making these 28 half double crochets for the back side. Now I have the next stitch. This is the third corner. Remove the stitch marker and into this stitch here, make 3 half double crochets. So now for the back side, I have a total of 34 stitches. We have 28 plus 3 plus 3. That's 34 stitches for the back side. Now to divide the second sleeve, chain 5. Skip 25 half double crochets for the second sleeve and into the stitch where we have the stitch marker in the corner here, make 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to continue and finish these last 14 stitches for the second front panel. So continue and I'll meet you at the end of this first row of the body. I'm here at the end of the first row of the body. In this row, we have separated the sleeves. I have a total of 78 stitches at the end of this row. Each of the front panels has 17 stitches, and for the back side, I have 34 stitches. Under each sleeve, I have 5 stitches, so that's a total of 78 stitches, including the chains. Now, for row 2 of the body, here we're going to begin the pattern. The pattern that I'm going to use for this little sweater is the snowdrop stitch. I already have 2 baby blankets using this stitch pattern and a little hat along with another little sweater. In the information box, I'll go ahead and leave you those links. So here, to begin row 2, we're going to chain 1 and turn. Beginning on top of the first half double crochet, make a single crochet. Now we're going to skip 1 half double crochet and into the next, which is the third half double crochet if you count from the beginning. 1, 2, 3. Into this third half double crochet, make 2 double crochets, chain 1, and then a single crochet into that same stitch. Again, skip 1, 2, and into the third stitch, make 2 double crochets, chain 1, and then a single crochet. Here for this row, we're going to be making these shells, and they're going to be separated by 2 half double crochets or 2 chains when you get to the chains under the sleeves. Again, skip 1, 2, and into the third, make 2 double crochets, chain 1, and then a single crochet. Skip 2 and into the third, same thing. 2 double crochets, chain 1, a single crochet into that same stitch. Skip 1, 2, and into the third, make 2 double crochets, chain 1, a single crochet. Now I'm going to continue with the same sequence. Here at the end I have one last half double crochet, so I'm going to skip 1, 2, and into the second chain, because here's the first chain, 1 and 2, into the second, which is the third stitch from this last one that we have for the front panel. Into this chain I'm going to do the same thing, a shell. Now skip 1, 2, and into the last chain, the fifth chain, here make another shell. There. Now we're going to continue with the same sequence. I have the first stitch here for the stitches for the back side, so I'm going to skip 1, 2, and into the third, make a shell. Again, skip 1, 2, and into the third, make a shell. And that's how we're going to continue for the second row. You just skip 2 stitches and into the next, make your shell. It doesn't matter if it's a half double crochet or a chain. Once you get here under the second sleeve, you just continue with the same sequence. You skip 2 stitches and into the next, you make the shell. Continue and finish this second row. I'll meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of the second row. In this row, we have started the pattern, the snowdrop stitch. I have a total of 25 shells at the end of this row. Now, to finish the row, we're going to go here to the end and into the last stitch, make a single crochet. And this is how I finish the second row with 25 shells and 1 single crochet at the beginning and at the end. Now, for row 3, we're going to chain 1 and turn. Now this third row is what we're going to repeat from here on. We chain 1 and turn, and beginning on top of the first single crochet, make a single crochet. Now in the chain space of each shell, you're going to make 2 double crochets, chain 1, and then a front post single crochet into the first double crochet. Again, I have the second shell. In the chain space, make 2 double crochets, chain 1, and then a front post single crochet into the first double crochet. Again, I have the third shell. In the chain space, make 2 double crochets, chain 1, and then a front post single crochet into the first double crochet. And this is how we're going to continue for this third row. I'll meet you here at the end of this row to show you once again how to finish each row and then how to start each row from here on, since from here on we're just going to repeat row 3 for the body. So I'll meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of the third row. This third row is being worked on the right side. I have 25 of these shells. Now, we're always going to have 25 shells, and to finish each row, we're always going to go here to the end where we have the single crochet, and we're going to finish by making a single crochet at the end. So now, from here on, like I said, this is the row that you're going to repeat. So for row 4, chain 1 and turn. Beginning on top of the first stitch, which is the single crochet here, make a single crochet. Now we have the first shell, we have the chain space. In the chain space, make 2 double crochets, chain 1, and then a front post single crochet. Again, we have the second shell. In the chain space, make 2 double crochets, chain 1, front post single crochet into the first double crochet, and so on. That's how you're going to continue to the end of this fourth row. Row 4 is being worked on the wrong side. So from here on, you're going to continue and repeat over and over that row. I'm not sure how many rows I'm going to do here for the body, but continue watching. I will let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do. So continue, and I'll meet you at the end of that row. I'm almost done with the body. I have done a total of 20 rows. From this first row where we separated the sleeves up to the last one that I did, I have 20 rows. My last row was worked on the wrong side. If you want to make this part here longer and add more rows, you can. The important thing is that you finish your last row on the wrong side, so that this next part that we're going to do, which is the hem, we start from the right side. Now this part here, it's measuring from the top of the shoulder to the end of row 20. It's measuring about 23.5 centimeters, which is about 9.25 inches. Now just this part here, from the first row of the body to row 20, it's measuring about 14.5 centimeters, which is about 5.75 inches. So here, what I did at the end of row 20 is I just did my last single crochet, cut my yarn, and passed my yarn through that last loop, because I'm going to continue with this light blue color. Okay, so here, to begin, if you're not changing yarn color, then go ahead and just chain 1 and turn. This first row of the hem is going to be worked on the right side. So here, to begin, on top of the first single crochet, grab a loop, bring it through, chain 1, and then make a half double crochet into this same stitch. There. Now what I'm going to do for each one of the shells is 3 half double crochets. The first one is going to go in the chain space, and then 1 on each one of the double crochets. So beginning with the first shell, make a half double crochet in the chain space, and then 1 half double crochet in each of the double crochets of the first shell. Here we have the 3 stitches. Again, we have the second shell. In the chain space, make a half double crochet, and in the 2 double crochets, make 1 half double crochet. And this is how I'm going to continue to the end of this first row of the hem. Continue like this. I will meet you here at the end. I'm here at the end of the first row of the hem here. Now to finish here at the end into the last single crochet, make a half double crochet. And here's row 1 of the hem with a total of 77 stitches. Now if you have 1 or 2 stitches less or more, it's okay. Continue. Here for row 2 of the hem, we're going to chain 1 and turn. Beginning on top of the first half double crochet, make a half double crochet. Now here what I'm going to do is front post and back post half double crochets. So beginning with the second stitch here, start with a front post half double crochet. The next one, back post half double crochet. Next one, front post half double crochet, back post half double crochet into the next, and so on. This is how I'm going to continue for the second row. I'm just going to alternate between front posts and back post half double crochets. Continue, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. I'm here at the end of the second row. Now here at the end, I'm going to make a half double crochet on top of the last stitch. And here's row 2 with 77 half double crochets. Row 2 is being worked on the wrong side. Now row 3, chain 1, turn. Row 3 is going to be worked on the right side. Beginning on top of the first stitch, make a half double crochet. And now we're going to work these stitches exactly how they are. This next stitch is a back post, so make a back post half double crochet. Next one, front post half double crochet. Next one, back post half double crochet. Front post half double crochet into the next, and so on. Continue like this to the end of this third row. I will meet you here to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of the third row. To finish here at the end, on top of the last stitch, make a half double crochet. And here's the hem. It's all done, and this is how it looks. Now what we're going to do next is the front panels. From the right side, we're going to work this first row for the first front panel. So here to begin, chain 1 at the end of row 3 here of the hem, make a half double crochet, and 1 half double crochet at the end of each row here. So a half double crochet into the second and a half double crochet into the first. I have 3 half double crochets here. Now here we have the ends of each row here of the body and the yoke. For the body, I'm going to make 1 half double crochet at the end of each row. So here, right here, the white. So at the end of that, make a half double crochet. At the end of the next, make a half double crochet. At the end of the next, a half double crochet, and so on. And this is how I'm going to work the front panel here and this part here of the body. So 1 half double crochet at the end of each row. You don't have to be precise. The important thing here is that it looks nice after this part here is done, and make sure that you don't make too many so that this part here looks nice and straight. Once I get to the end of the body here, the first row of the body, I'm going to count these stitches and let you know how many I have so that you can do the same. And here's the first row of the body right there. Let's see how many stitches we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I have 25 half double crochets for the body. So now for the yoke, we have this next row. At the end, I'm going to make a half double crochet. At the end of the next, I'm going to make 2. At the end of the next, 1. And at the end of the next, 2. 1. And then 2. And then 1. And then 1 here at the end of the first one, because I'm going to make 1 in the chain row here, so that I'm at the very top here. Now let me count the stitches. So up to here, which is the first row of the body, I had 25. So for the yoke, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that gives me a total of 37 half double crochets for this front panel. Now, if you have 1 or 2 stitches less or more, it's okay. The important thing is that when you do the second front panel, you make the same number of stitches as you did for the first front panel. I have 37. So here for row 2, I'm going to chain 1 and turn. Beginning on top of the first half double crochet, make a half double crochet. Now into the second one, which is this here, make a back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet into the next, back post half double crochet into the next, and so on. This is how I'm going to continue down the second row of this first front panel. So continue, and I'll meet you here at the end. I'm here at the end of the second row of this first front panel. Now here at the end on top of the last stitch, make a half double crochet. And here's row 2 with 37 half double crochets. Now for row 3, chain 1 and turn. Beginning on top of the first half double crochet, make a half double crochet. Now here we're going to start with a front post half double crochet. We're going to work these stitches exactly how they are. So the next one is a back post. Make a back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet, back post half double crochet, and so on. So continue and finish this third row. I will meet you here at the top. I'm here at the end of the third row for this first front panel. Now here at the end on top of the last stitch, make a half double crochet. Now what we're going to do next is the neckline, so we're going to continue along the top. I'm going to chain 1 and beginning at the end of the third row here of this front panel, make a half double crochet. At the end of the second row, make 1, and at the end of the first row of the front panel, make 1 half double crochet. So here I have 3 half double crochets. Now into the next half double crochet of the neckline, not this here but this one here, I'm going to start with a front post half double crochet, back post half double crochet into the next, front post half double crochet into the next, and so on. This is how we're going to continue all around the neckline, just alternating between front post and back post half double crochets. Now for the stitches here, the neckline, make sure that these stitches are nice and loose. This is so that when we're done making the neckline, it's not too tight. Make sure that these stitches are nice and loose. If for some reason yours turns out to be too tight, then go ahead and use a slightly bigger hook size, or instead of making these front post and back post stitches, just make a row on top of the stitches like this of half double crochet. So right here where the chains are, you can just make half double crochets like this. It'll be fine. I'm going to do front post and back post half double crochets, and I'm going to make sure to make them nice and loose. Continue all around the neckline. I will meet you here at this other end. I finished the neckline. I have a total of 52 half double crochets all around the neckline. Now if you have 1 or 2 stitches less or more, it's okay. Continue with the second front panel. Now here for the second front panel, I'm going to do it exactly in the same way how I showed you here. I'm going to start the first row here for you, and then you're going to do row 2 and 3, which is exactly the same thing. Again, the important thing here is that you make the same number of stitches that we did for row 1 of the first front panel. Make sure that you do the same here for this front panel. So to begin here, we're going to chain 1, and at the end of this row of the neckline, make a half double crochet. Now at the end of the first row of the neckline, make a half double crochet. Now we have the next row, row 2 of the neckline, make 1 at the end of that, and now we're going to start with 2 half double crochets at the end of the next, then 1, 2 at the end of the next, and then 1, 2, 1, and then 2. Let's see how this looks. I think that looks pretty good. It's nice and straight. Now we have the stitches for the body. Now at the end of each row here of the body, you're just going to go and make 1 half double crochet at the end of each row. Make sure you count your stitches because it can get a little confusing here at the end of these rows for the body. I recommend that once you get here, count your stitches and then add the last 3 rows to make sure that you have 37, which is what I'm going to do. So continue, finish the first row. I'll meet you at the end. Here at the end of this first row, I have 37 half double crochets. Now chain 1 and turn. For the second row here of the second front panel, beginning on top of the first stitch, make a half double crochet. Now here I'm going to begin with a front post half double crochet into that second stitch, back post half double crochet into the next, front post half double crochet into the next, and so on, all the way to the top. Once you get here, at the end, on top of the last stitch, you're going to make a half double crochet, then you're going to chain one, turn, and for row 3, beginning on top of the first stitch, you make a half double crochet, and then you're going to make front post and back post half double crochets. Just work the stitches exactly how they are. So continue and finish the second front panel. I'll meet you once this part here is done to show you how we're going to make the sleeves. I finished the third row for the second front panel. Here at the end, I did my last stitch, cut my yarn, and passed my yarn through that last loop, and the front panels are all done. Now, I did not make any buttonholes, and the reason is because the spaces in between the rows here of front post and back post half double crochets are big enough for buttons to fit through. At the end of the tutorial, I always give you the size buttons that I use, and I always give you the finished measurement. So if you need that information, continue watching to the end. Now, this little sweater here is for boys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the second front panel on top of the first. If it's for girls, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to bring the first front panel on top of the second front panel. I'm making this for boys, so this is how I'm going to place mine. Now, what we're going to do next are the sleeves. I already did this side, so I'm going to show you how to do it on this side. Whenever you have to do this side, you're going to do it exactly in the same way how I'm going to show you here with this sleeve. So to begin, we're going to go here. Right under the sleeve, we have this space between the first stitch that we left for the sleeve, which is 25 stitches, and the last one. So in this space here, I'm going to go right in the center, and I'm going to insert my hook right here into this stitch. It doesn't matter, as long as it's right in the center, insert your hook there and grab a loop. I always like to start right in the center under the sleeve. So here, pull a loop through and chain 2. Now I'm going to make a total of 2 shells between the 2 chains and the first stitch out of the 25 that we left for the sleeve. So right into this space right here, I'm going to make a shell. So make 2 double crochets, chain 1, 1 single crochet. Now I'm going to make one more shell before I make the next one here in the first stitch out of the 25. So I'm going to make the second one right here into this next space. This is like the corner there. So here, make 2 double crochets, 1 chain, 1 single crochet. So far I have 2 shells. Now I'm going to go on top of the first stitch out of the 25 that we left for the sleeve, and in this stitch here I'm going to make the third shell. So make 2 double crochets, 1 chain, 1 single crochet. From here you're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and into the third stitch make a shell. Skip 2, and into the third make another shell. And this is how you're going to continue up to the last stitch here at the end of the sleeve. So continue. I will meet you right here. This is the last stitch to show you how we're going to finish this first row for the first sleeve. I'm here at the end of this first row. Now up to here, which is the last stitch out of the 25 stitches that we left for the sleeve, I have a total of 11 shells, including these 2 that we did here at the beginning. Now here at the end, I need to make 1 more shell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right here, right into this space. You can either go here or here. I'm going to go right here, and into this space I'm going to make my last shell. There, so now I have 12 shells. To finish the row, I'm going to go here to the side. We have the 2 chains here at the beginning. So right there, insert your hook into that space and join with a slip stitch. I'm not joining to the first double crochet of this first shell, but rather the 2 chains that we did. So now here's the first row with a total of 12 shells. From here on, I'm going to continue with 12 shells. Now for row 2, I'm going to chain 2 and turn. We always begin with 2 chains and turn for each row. Now I have this first shell in the chain space here, make a shell. So you're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 1, and then work a front post single crochet into the first double crochet. Again, I have the next shell in the chain space, make 2 double crochets, chain 1, and then a front post single crochet. Again, the next one in the chain space, make 2 double crochets, chain 1, and then a front post single crochet. And that's how you're going to continue all around for the second row. Row 2 is being worked on the wrong side. Continue. I will meet you here at the end. These are the 2 chains. I will meet you right here to show you how we're going to finish the second row and then show you the third row. From here on, you're just going to continue and repeat row 2 over and over. I'm here at the end of the second row. I have 12 shells. Now to finish each row from here on, you're always going to go here to the side where we have the 2 chains and join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finish row 2 with 12 shells. Now for the third row, I'm going to chain 2 and turn. Row 2 was worked on the wrong side. This third row is being worked on the right side. So you're going to always turn for each row. Now for row 3, after I chained 2 and turned, I have the first shell. In each of the chain spaces of each shell, you're going to make 2 double crochets, 1 chain, and then a front post single crochet. Again, we have the next shell. In the chain space, make 2 double crochets, chain 1, and then a front post single crochet in the first double crochet, and so on. And that's how we're going to continue all around for this third row. It's exactly the same thing we did in the second row. The only difference is that we turned. Here to finish this row, you're going to go here to the beginning where we have the 2 chains, join with a slip stitch, chain 2 and turn, and then repeat the same thing. Now at the end of each row, you're going to always have 12 shells, and we're going to do this for a total of 17 rows. It's hard to count these rows, so what I did is I just counted the chain 2s that we did at the beginning of each row until I had about 17 rows. So continue. Let's make these 17 rows, and then I'll come back and show you how to make the cuff. I'm almost done with the sleeve. I have done 17 rows. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. The last row here was worked on the right side, and I just joined to the beginning with a slip stitch, cut my yarn, and passed my yarn through that last loop. I'm going to change yarn color here for the cuff. If you're not changing yarn color, then just go ahead and chain 2. With the new color, grab a loop, bring it through, and chain 2. Now each one of the shells has 2 double crochets. On top of each one, I'm going to make a half double crochet. Beginning with the first shell here, make 2 half double crochets. Jump to the next shell and make 2 half double crochets. So here I'm going to skip the chain 1 spaces. We have the next shell. On top of the double crochets, make a half double crochet, and so on. So continue like this, finish row 18, and I'll meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of row 18. This is the first row for the cuff. Now I have 24 half double crochets up to here. Here's the last shell. Now to finish, go on top of the first half double crochet, not the chains, but on top of the first half double crochet, and join with a slip stitch. Now for row 19 and 20, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to chain 1, beginning with the first stitch here. I'm going to make a front post half double crochet. Into the next, a back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet, back post half double crochet, and so on. This is how you're going to continue all around for row 19. Now to finish this row, you're going to go here to the beginning, join with a slip stitch on top of the first half double crochet, chain 1, and then repeat the same thing for row 20. We're going to do a total of 3 rows here, so continue, finish these 3 rows, and then I'll come back and show you the finished baby sweater. I finished making the third row here for the cuff. At the end of the last row, I just joined to the beginning with a slip stitch, cut my yarn, and passed my yarn through that last loop. So the sleeve is all done. Now, when you do the second sleeve, you're going to do it exactly in the same way how I showed you here with the first sleeve. So this little sweater is all done. To match the Snowdrop Baby Blanket, that's the second version with the extended border. Stay tuned for the matching little hat. In another tutorial, I'll go ahead and show you how to make the matching little hat. So now let me give you the finished measurements. From the top of the neckline to the end of the cuff, it's measuring about 22 centimeters, which is about 8.5 inches. From under the sleeve to the end of the cuff, it's measuring about 13 centimeters, which is about 8.25 inches. Now, the width here of the sleeve, just the top, it's measuring about 8.5 centimeters, which is about 3 3/8 of an inch. Now, the total length from the top of the shoulder to the end here of the hem, it's measuring about 25.5 centimeters, which is about 10 inches. And this measurement here right across, it's measuring about 11.5 centimeters, which is about 4 inches. Now the chest measurement, just the top, it's measuring about 21 centimeters, which is about 8.25 inches. So based on these measurements, this little cardigan sweater, coat, or jacket is for baby boys and girls between 0 and 3 months. Now you can easily make it smaller or bigger. I'd say from a newborn size and up to 2 to 3 years old. In the information box below, I'll go ahead and leave you some information on how you can easily make it smaller or bigger. And as always, if you prefer a written pattern, check out my Etsy shop. I'll leave the link to my Etsy shop in the information box as well. Now, as far as yarn, you're going to need a total of 116 grams. I used 100 grams exactly for the main color, which is the white, and about 16 grams for the light blue color. You will also need 4 buttons. These are 12 millimeter size, but you can also use 11, 12, or even 13 millimeter size. Depending on the size that you make, you may need smaller or bigger size buttons. And I only used 4. Remember that the buttonholes are the spaces in between the rows of half double crochet. So these spaces here. So this little sweater's all done. Stay tuned, like I said, for the matching little hat, and you can find the link to the Snowdrop version 2 of this baby blanket in the information box below. Okay, so this was today's tutorial. I hope you like it. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.